Okay, so here's part two. All right, now here, part two. Tuesday, 8:58, 14 seconds, year 2023, 6th month, June, 6th day. Yeah. See, that's the first time anything like that has happened. You know? And I naturally, from all the training, knew exactly what to bring in the situation. Put that fire out real quick as a fire marshal. See, as I was squirting, atmospheric fire in the atmosphere, in the imagination realm, so to speak, but yet speaking on the reality of the situation. Reality of the situation is that, the atmosphere is on fire with all kinds of confusion, childishness, and bullishness, and all that stuff. And when the fire, was aggravated to the point where it wanted to escalate, and the wind came in and tried to blow it upon me, I immediately put it out. Just like that. I put that fire out real quick. And it was on camera too. Wow. For all the world to see. And I gave all kinds of wonderful explanations of what's going on in the natural and the universal realm. As the trash can lid was just tomped down as a confirmation sign, I put a lid on it. You had to put a lid right on it. Knowing that the gang is all around. That's the extraterrestrial Vatican on the bad side, which just needs an audit and a proper audit. An assessment. It needs a fire squirter. The clouds need to be seated and all that stuff. The intake and the exhaust valves need to be seated. All kinds of stuff. So I just kind of relax and let the atmosphere come down. I let the fire naturally just, reflect upon the situation and what's going on. Yeah, no eye contact. That's one of the key things. And then use the imagination, because the bully comes from an imagination side too. Just imagine as though I didn't hear it. Imagine as though they weren't talking to me. Because it could have been, because I had never looked at them. But I could feel the energy. I felt it. I didn't need to look at anything to feel what I needed to feel. That's the martial arts. Yeah, it's martial arts. And at the same time, this is a wonderful thing to help me too. With the bad habits in me, with the robot that's got more control of me. At times. So it helps me put more soul into it. That's the self energy. It gives me a force. That's the force energy. See, the natural force. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. And I'm sure there was aggravation in the atmosphere because I was auditing the current societal condition. In a way, I was auditing the current societal condition in a way. But in a way I wasn't. I was just speaking with nature. I was speaking naturally. What happens in nature, naturally. One space feels invaded, then, it's natural to bring out some repellent. A natural repellent, to help the child realize, and say, I see, yeah. I don't have to be killed off. I can just be routed. Yeah. And at the same time, call it for what it is. And it's true, everything I was saying. I've had to spend the last 3 years at Jasper Wood Products, cleaning up over there, major cleaning up. Even just the showing up over there and having presence. Even if I was to lift, no board, clean, nothing with a broom, just the presence is a clean scrub. Yeah, it's true. I was speaking truthful things. And who knows if anything was actually being heard. It could have been that I was up on the roof just having some noise with this camera thing or whatever. And one might have thought, well, God, that looks kind of mental crazy. Who knows? Of course, that would be coming from E.T. that controls the Vatican, that controls everyone downhill, all the ants, this and that, king and the queen, with the worker ants. A signal is sent out. I know how things function. So, just kind of, I've dealt, I've dealt backstage here before, with people out here in the backyard, in the bike path. I've dealt with the haze. Hey, what the fuck? I've dealt with that. And so, the same situation out in the front too, And, I know how to calm things down and put any escalating situation to rest. And like I say, it's just a matter of moving away from the conflict, which in a way is actually facing the conflict and putting a water hose on a fire, or some type of agent on a fire, or on a disaster, on a bad situation, a peaceful agent on an escalating out of control situation that could ignite into a big fire. Yeah, because that whole situation, if I wasn't trained, I didn't know how to handle it properly and bring some natural phenomena and universal principles into the situation, it could escalate into what's known as, a grand argument, which could have been physical. It could have been, I'm going to get you later, and the gang's ignited, and a whole, race war or whatever. It could went all kinds of directions. Yeah. And in a way, that's kind of, a retaliation in a way, or a misunderstanding. I answered some emails last night for some job interviews, and I let them know, on your behalf, it was an interview on the behalf that I brought. It was an audit too. It was also an audit, auditing the state, natural state auditor. So anyway, so here things are. Just kind of relaxing and listening and waiting and just letting things settle. And let some reflection be known in the atmosphere, and at the same time, let the child think that the child won. See that? For me to remove myself from an escalating situation, possible confrontation, I don't know if they're talking to me or not. Who knows? Could have been. See, I left it at that. And I left just I could feel the energy, and I left the energy just in time, to leave it at that, so that, that way no one has to carry any guilt or proof or burden as though something actually happened that they now have to report on back to the queen or to the king or the gang member or the friends, and all that stuff. But see, now the childish situation, thinks that they won, because I was the motherly energy or the fatherly energy that let the child think that the child won. That's a wonderful thing. That is a wonderful principle to bring into situations. See, as I'm out here near the fence line, I can hear others speaking faintly in their little areas. So, yeah. That's a wonderful principle. Let the child think the child won. And sometimes part of, mom and dad wrestle with the children on the floor, It's natural. They think, oh, you got me, you got me, you got me. The child feels empowered because he feels like he won. And leave it at that. So I left the child thinking that that I was scared. See, the child thinks he won. And that's the extraterrestrial. And the extraterrestrial, see, there's the sunbeam on that one. See right there? It came out from nowhere. That's, even the extraterrestrial knows this. Even the bully child knows this. Even the Vatican knows this. Military knows this. I'm on government watch. They're watching me say all this stuff. And they're amazed at the same time how I conduct business. How I conduct spirit and soul, thought and body actions together in equality. And they're like, wow. And at the same time, some of them know this stuff. And at the same time, I'm being tested. And they're like, oh, wow, this guy knows how to handle situations. See that? Just like I told the DeBella interviewer. Oh, yeah, I know what it's like to be a cop. But there's a difference between a public cop and a lawful cop. Okay? A public cop, which represents the legal child bully energy, is going to say, well, what are you talking to me for? You disturbing the peace or trying to control me? Because I'm the king's guard. You better listen to what I have to say. I ain't here to listen. You don't tell me what to do. See? Now, as a lawful police officer, okay, I know how to use natural laws to de-escalate what could be a rising conflict. Use natural laws. And it's something totally different. And so as I'm being watched at high levels, they're watching me. They're like, oh, shit, look at that. I said what I needed to say. It needed to come out. I wanted to get it out for whatever reason. Whether, it could have been that I needed to learn that wasn't proper to say at that particular time or in the way that I said it, and I might have went overboard. So as I reflect later on, I'm thinking, well, yeah, could be. Could be. Yeah. So I hear the neighbor over behind the yard in their fence over here. They're having a conversation. All right, so now I got this fire hose right here. It's continuing to go. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to regulate the pressure. So here I was out in the front yard, and I was talking about, staying in one's country. Help the country that one is in. And that could have been easily misinterpreted as, oh my God, now you're not with the blue agenda and the democratic movement, which is, we need to get all countries together and blend all races together. Well, what I'm saying is that I've heard other YouTube videos where it's a wonderful thing for some countries to be within their nations. It's a wonderful thing, But that's not to say that it's never a good idea to intermix. That's not to say that it's never a good idea. Could be that there is some wonderful thing to mixing. But what I'm just saying, what I've learned especially on the Vatican, at the Vatican level, that interracial mixing has been done on purpose to cause all kinds of fights and disruptions amongst all the inhabitants on the earth, including the animals. They're doing it on purpose for a bad cause and putting black voodoo witch doctor intention on it. That, we want everybody to kill each other off, and we'll go and hide in the bunkers as the elite, and then we'll emerge and come out, and not have to deal with all these children that we created. that we didn't know how to properly raise. Because that's all it comes down to. It's just a poor mama and a poor daddy that didn't know how to raise children. They created a whole society of citizens thinking that controlling them was the best thing. And then they realized, oh shit, this has turned into the biggest mess they ever known. Because a bully child does not know how to raise children. The only thing they know is to steal others' children and turn them into slave robots. That's all an immature bully child really knows. Stuck on the mud-stuck abuse. Stuck on it. Stuck on it. Yeah. So I was out here and, I said there's a main portal out here in Jasper, Oregon. Okay? There's a main portal. And so that might have been misinterpreted as though, oh shit, oh my God, why are you saying this into the air? You shouldn't be saying that. Well, it's true. That's where I was at. That's what was going on. It's natural for me to share what I've been going through. That's nature. That's a universal principle, to naturally share what I've been going through, what I've seen. Yeah. And over at Jasper, they were trying to trick me into signing a no disclosure contract. And in the non-disclosure contract, it says, you will speak nothing bad against Jasper. Well, it doesn't matter. Then if I was to agree with that, it doesn't matter what I say. Because anything that I say can be interpreted as bad. Not only that, the main reason why I didn't sign it, because it said, our parent companies and us, any liens that you have against us are now null and void. I know what these children are up to. Just like the Oregon tax collector that called me, or Oregon Tax Help Program that called me yesterday on the phone. They were looking to get a lien position on me. They were looking to get me to sign a contract, basically for a lien. I questioned him. I says, this is basically a loan. So what you're saying is this is a loan program. And he said, no. But then I realized I could have said if I really wanted to. But, I didn't say it. I let him think he won. I wanted to let him think he was winning and then control the conversation. That was the instinct that was helping me. But what I really could have said is, what I really wanted to say was, you're looking for a lien position on me. Sneaky little guy here. Or sneaky little ET. Sneaky little Vatican. Mind control. I'm just dealing with a robot on the phone, folks. That's been electronically demon possessed. As a what if and could be. See that? Yeah. I could have said that. But, once again, here the same situation is, mama likes to let the child think that the child won. And in certain circumstances and situations, that is the best thing for the situation. Yeah. Just to kind of feel it out. Because there are still policemen around. There are still those on the king's order to maintain some type of peace no matter what's going on. No matter what's going on. And so I know this. I'm not relying on any intervention on behalf of the police, but I know that the system is already set up to function that way, so I still utilize it. And it's just part of the bad habit that's ingrained within me that I grew up with, so it comes out naturally too. I don't even have to think on it. I know. There's order that's being maintained in the atmosphere because those legal police are there, because the legal military is there. There is some order. but it's not the ultimate order. I call it temporal night order. It's temporary order. But it's temporary order that was put there in a bad way. It's not the ultimate. It's just like, E.T. doesn't know how to raise children. And they realize it. And they got a big mess on their hand. And they need some more soul energy from the universe, which is the mother energy, where I come in, channeling through me, bringing that motherly energy into the atmosphere. So now I feel the atmosphere quelling down to come out into the front yard again, because the hey was coming across from the prison guards, or the prison area. Could have been, symbolically a prisoner yelling out, "Hey, you prison guard, I don't like what you're saying. Hey," all kinds of things. Using the imagination, knowing what I know, how the system functions. So anyway, this is a 20-minute video. I'm going to cut this one off and start another video. And just kind of regulate the energies in the air and monitor it. Live streaming, but it's on live camera until live streaming situation. I get the capacities or the equipment, whatever one wants to call it. So I'll talk to you later. I'm going to put this silver iodine back in the kitchen. I'll show you where I put it. Okay, it goes in here. I'll flip the light on. This goes right here. I keep it right on the shelf right there. So here's the silver. That right there behind there. And here's the non-toxic iodine. This is one bottle. And I have other different iodine bottles too. There's some in this one, this particular one, whatever that is. I think it's the same thing, detoxified iodine. Might be a different label for the same brand. And here's a different brand altogether. This is Wyant's, which is a local market iodine with kelp. So there's that. Now I'll stop the video and start another one. I want to go see if the cat's up to here. There she is. She's still. Okay, I'm going to go to the next part, and I'm going to talk about what that conversation could have got into.